Okay, so we talked about the curtain rod package. Now, we've got curtain rods as a kind of cover story appearing on the Wednesday from this hitchhiker, which I believe, fully believe, that was Lee Harvey Oswald trying to stop the assassination. We've got that, and we've got then Wesley Frazier turning up on the Friday telling us that's the curtain rod story again. So now we've got two curtain rod stories. Does that strike you as a little bit odd? Does that strike you as a little bit of a cover story? It's very strange, isn't it? Now, I feel that Lee, because he was working for the CIA and because he was trying to stop the assassination, actually infiltrated the assassination ring, and to make it look believable and so that he would protect himself and his family, what he had to do was go along with it as long as he possibly could. So he was tasked by the conspirators to take that gun into the building. And they would be watching, so he had to do it. And I believe, though, that he was asked to do that on the Thursday, and he did it ahead of time. I believe that he picked that gun up from a safe house in Oak Cliff and was due to take it back to his boarding house, but instead he caught he hitched a lift with Ralph Yates as a random, guy, thumbed a lift and got him to take him downtown. But I do believe that he was tasked with taking that gun in there. They didn't need to have a gun in there. They could have smuggled. It was a warehouse full of school books. They could have hidden guns in any of those boxes. They could have got guns in and out, and probably did. That Texas School Book Depository was probably a front for running guns. I'm absolutely convinced that they had guns coming in and out of there. In boxes hiding. It was a front. They could have had any weapon, they could have had anything to their disposal, they could have hidden it anywhere in that building that they wanted to, but they had to make a show of that gun coming into the building. They needed that. That was important, and they tasked somebody to see Lee coming into that building with that gun. But because Lee did it on the Wednesday and not the Thursday, the person that was tasked with seeing him do it didn't see it. Lee wasn't supposed to be there on a Wednesday. Okay, that was him completely working on his own initiative. He was supposed to do that on the Thursday, and the person I believe that was supposed to witness him putting that gun into the building was Frazier, Wesley Frazier. He didn't see him do it. He did not see him do that. So he had to come up with some kind of explanation as to why he hadn't seen it. So what he did was make up a story that actually Lee took it in on the Friday. Lee was being handled by his handlers. Frazier was being handled by his handlers. And they had the story prepared in advance, okay, that gun was going to go in that building and be seen to be done so by Lee in a brown paper package. Even to the point where there is a YouTube video where it's described that somebody had sent Lee Oswald a brown paper package in the mail, only they'd put the wrong address on it and it got lost in the sorting office. They'd obviously done it before the assassination. It'd been sat there for a few weeks. If it had come after the assassination, it would have been picked up on straight away. Everybody knew the name Lee Oswald by then. But whoever sent that package sent it to the wrong address, and I believe Lee gave them a wrong address so that he knew that it would sit around and somebody would find it and put this together. And I'm quite amazed, actually, that in 54 years, Richard and I seem to be the first ones to have stumbled across that. And this is what I'm feeling from my heart, and we're piecing it together. So this is how I feel, and I wanted you to know the truth about Wesley Frazier. I believe he is involved. I believe he is intelligence-based involvement, CIA. I believe his handler to be Roselli as well in the mix, and I will explore that in another discussion. But I believe that Ruth Paine was tasked with setting up a story about the gun being in her garage. And the backyard photos, don't forget, came from Ruth Paine's garage. So that's another aspect we're going to talk about another time. But all the bits of evidence, you see, have come straight out of Ruth Paine's garage, and that's very, very interesting. All the material evidence to frame Lee Harvey Oswald have come right out of there, and as we see, it's complete lies. Okay, so it's time to know the truth. Okay.